you guys. So it is getting cold in Ohio. Wanted to get you guys another video up. So whenever it gets cold, we get back out in the garage. I got the rear wheel. I mounted the rear sprocket since we're going to a chain drive kit on this bike. Mounted the rear sprocket on there, mounted the rear brake rotor. I'll show you guys. I didn't want to waste too much time filming any of that because it's super simple. So it's 5 bolts, bolt right up. 5 bolts, bolt right up. So wanted to get that taken care of. The next thing that I'm going to do is, since we just mocked this swing arm up in here, we got to get this stuff torqued down. So 50 foot-pounds on the lower swing arm pivot bolt. So we're going to get that torqued down. Then we're going to get these old shocks off of here. I don't know if I showed you guys these. I think I already did. We're going to go with a 14-inch rear shock. So we're going to bring the rear end of this bike up another 2 inches. So I want to get the rear end of this bike all together. Also going to slide the axle through. I got the axle adjusters in. We're going to get the rear wheel mounted up, at least take care of some of the back end of this bike. So we got the swing arm tightened down, 50 foot-pounds here. It's what it calls for. So now we're going to get the real rear shocks mocked up. So it's a lot of trial and error here. You want to make sure you're doing everything right. You want to make sure the swing arm moves freely. That's just what we're checking for here, making sure everything's loose and moving good. Now we're going to get these off. And we'll get the real ones on. When you're doing stuff like this, trying to build a bike, you're going to run into issues on almost everything. So either things aren't going to line up, or they're not going to fit right, or you're going to have some kind of issue. If you don't, you're not working on a Harley, I can guarantee it. So I'm probably gonna end this video here. I still gotta get the right spacers and everything for the bike. I do have some axle spacers around here somewhere. I just gotta find them. They're on an axle that I took off in older bikes. So I'll find those for you guys, and we'll get you some more content up. I'm gonna mess with this a little bit more. I want to get this all mocked up here, kind of see what's going on with it, make sure everything lines up good. But I kind of just wanted to show you the progress and where I'm at right now. Stay tuned, I'll get you some more video up. All right, you guys, so here we are in the garage. Had to cut the video yesterday. We were trying to mock up a bunch of stuff, space everything out. So as you can see, we got the rear wheel on, we got the suspension set up, We got the swing arm dialed in. We got the spacing. We got everything taken care of here. So everything is flowing nicely. We also removed the cover over this pulley here. That's the old pulley down there. It's locked on by a washer and a lock ring. I'll kind of show you how it is. You can see in there how tarnished this is from sitting. So it's like that, and then this recesses down in here, and that locks up so it retains it all in there real nice for you. This fits right into here, and then you bolt that plate down. This is a reverse thread part, so lefty is tighty and righty is loosey, so it's a little bit backwards. I had to use the impact here to break it loose. That's your best bet whenever you're doing this, to use that impact. Let that do all the work for you. So now we're getting this all set up here. We're getting the chain drive on there. We're gonna get this all torqued down. Then we're gonna get our chain on there. We're gonna measure everything out. I already roughly measured it out. Everything's looking good. Looks like it's gonna line up perfect. So, I mean, this thing's come a long way from where we were at when we started. As you can see, we got everything lined up perfect. The brakes are lined up absolutely perfect on here. The rear brakes. So all we got to do is tighten some stuff down, torque some stuff down. Then we'll run these axle adjusters to make sure everything is even, and we'll fill you in. I'll show you guys once I get this chain on here what it looks like. So before we start getting everything dialed down, getting everything buttoned up, I want to go ahead and clean this, because as you can see up here, there is layers and layers of just dirt caked on up here. Grease and dirt from probably years of just sitting in there and not being clean. So I'm going to clean that all out first before I get this on, so that way we make sure everything is 100% clean and ready to go. All right, so we just torqued the lock nut down to 50 foot-pounds. Manual says 50 foot-pounds on the lock nut. And then you're going to do 90 to 110 inch-pounds on the small little retaining pins that go inside this plate here. So these little guys here, you're going to put some blue Loctite on them. They go in here, and you're going to torque those down to 110 inch-pounds. That's going to be good. That's going to hold the sprocket into position. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get the chain set up. We're going to break the chain. We're going to measure it, make sure everything is lined up properly. Then we will adjust our rear wheel to where we need it, lock everything down, and then we'll just be waiting for the triple trees to get back from powder coat so we could get this front end on here, and then we could start tearing down this engine. All right, you guys, so fast forwarded through a lot of this. As you can see, we got the chain drive kit installed. Everything's on. We torqued everything down. Got the axle torqued down, 60 foot-pounds. Went through the axle adjusters. Everything is on there properly. So we measured our free play here. So we got about 3/8 of an inch, a little bit more free play on our chain. Adjusted the rear chain tensioner, axle adjusters. So everything's dialed in. It took a while here, but we got the whole rear end coming together now. So the chain drive kit's on it. I have a cover coming for this, so we're gonna run a tracker die cover over there. Make everything look nice. This cover right here is gonna be coming off. That's gonna be going out the powder coat. Also, the primary cover on the other side is coming off. That's going to be going to powder coat. These top rocker covers, they're going to be coming off. they're going to be going to powder coat. So as soon as we get the triple trees back from powder coat, we're going to get the front end on this bike. We're going to get this thing looking like a motorcycle. Then we're going to start tearing into this engine. By spring, this bike is going to be ready to rip. I cannot wait. I've never had a chain drive Harley Davidson, so here we go. I'm joining the club. Gonna start actually riding this bike and having some fun with it. Gonna set it up exactly how I would like. Whenever you guys are doing this type of stuff, I made this little simple tool here. Took a piece of clothes hanger, bent it at a nice angle, put a little zip tie on it. That way you can put it in right here on your axle. You can measure everything. Then you go over to the other side, you measure it. That'll give you the proper axle spacing. Once you guys get that stuff dialed in, it's just trial and error. It's a lot of trial and error, making sure you like the way everything fits. The belt tension or chain tension, I've been reading everywhere, everyone's saying 5/8 to 3/8. I went with 3/8, so that way if the belt does stretch over time, it doesn't stretch too much. Super happy with the way everything's turning out. Can't wait to rip this bike. So just wanted to show you guys the progress here. It looks nasty. I love the way chain drive looks on a motorcycle. So we're gonna get the fender, the gas tank, and the front fender painted, and we're gonna start getting this bike ready to go. Gonna have the TC Bros mid controls. We'll be throwing those on here. So forward controls are nice if you're into just cruising, taking long rides. This bike is not for that, so we're not going to be running forward controls. We're going to run mid controls. We're going to have fun. We're going to try to hit some corners. We're going to try to tuck. We're going to try to drift this bike, have some fun with it. Just so you guys know, the chain drive kit was a pain in the butt, but we got it on there. Just measuring and making sure everything is to spec and how you want everything, making sure you get everything torqued down. I wanted to run this all open, but since we're going to be running mid controls, I don't want to get my pants caught in there. So I decided to get the cover for it. Tracker Die's got a real nice one. TC Bros has a real nice one. So we're going to get some nice parts on this bike. We're going to get it painted. We're going to get it dialed in. And just want to thank you guys for staying with us and watching these videos. The Sportster is going to be pretty cool. It's the first Sportster I've ever actually owned that's my bike. So we're going to do it the right way. Going to put a lot of money into this bike and going to have a lot of fun with it. So stay tuned. The next video is probably going to be the front end or whatever else I get in the mail.